Slavoj Žižek is a Slovenian philosopher, cultural critic, and public intellectual known for his unique and provocative approach to a wide range of topics, including politics, ideology, psychoanalysis, film theory, and popular culture. He was born on March 21, 1949, in Ljubljana, Yugoslavia, now Slovenia. Zizek gained international recognition in the 1990s with the publication of his book The Sublime Object of Ideology, 1989, and his subsequent works, which combined elements of Marxism, psychoanalysis, particularly the theories of Jacques Lacan, and Hegelian philosophy. He has since written extensively on various subjects, often challenging conventional wisdom and offering unconventional interpretations. One of Zizek's central ideas is the critique of ideology and the notion that ideology is not simply a set of beliefs or ideas but a system of beliefs and practices that shape our understanding of reality. He argues that ideology operates on an unconscious level and structures our desires and beliefs, often leading to forms of false consciousness or distorted perceptions of the world. Zizek has also explored the intersection of philosophy and popular culture. He frequently references movies, literature, and other cultural artifacts to illustrate his ideas and critiques. His ability to make complex philosophical concepts accessible through examples from popular culture has made him a popular figure among both academics and the general public. In addition to his writings, Zizek is known for his engaging and provocative speaking style. He has delivered numerous lectures and public talks around the world, often engaging in lively debates with other intellectuals. His speaking style is characterized by his passionate delivery, a mixture of high theory and pop culture references, and his willingness to challenge widely accepted beliefs and political ideologies. Despite being a controversial figure, Zizek has had a significant influence on contemporary philosophy, critical theory, and cultural studies. His work has been translated into many languages, and he continues to be an active commentator on current events and cultural phenomena. Slavoj Žižek incorporates psychoanalysis, particularly the theories of Jacques Lacan, into his work to analyze various aspects of ideology, culture, and subjectivity. Zizek's interpretation of psychoanalysis is often idiosyncratic and can be seen as a departure from traditional psychoanalytic approaches. Here are some key elements of the psychoanalysis Zizek employs. The unconscious. Like Lacan, Zizek emphasizes the importance of the unconscious mind in shaping our thoughts, desires, and actions. He argues that the unconscious is not a repository of repressed desires, but rather the site where the symbolic order of language and cultural meanings exert their influence. The symbolic order. Zizek draws heavily from Lacan's concept of the symbolic order, which refers to the network of signifiers and cultural symbols that structure our reality. He suggests that language and social norms mediate our access to reality, shaping our desires and beliefs. Lack and desire. Central to Zizek's psychoanalytic framework is the concept of lack, which he argues is a fundamental aspect of human subjectivity. According to him, our desires are rooted in a fundamental lack or incompleteness, and we seek to fill this lack through various means, often driven by cultural and ideological forces. Ideology and fantasy. Zizek explores the role of ideology and fantasy in shaping our subjective experience and social reality. He argues that ideology operates at the level of fantasy, providing imaginary solutions to our lack and offering narratives that structure our understanding of the world. The real. In Zizek's psychoanalytic framework, the real refers to the dimension of raw, unmediated experience that resists symbolization. It represents the inherent antagonism and instability that disrupts the symbolic order. The real is often glimpsed through moments of trauma, crisis, or excess. Subjectivity and enjoyment. Zizek investigates the relationship between subjectivity and enjoyment, emphasizing how our desires are entangled with forms of enjoyment that are often contradictory or self-undermining. He explores the ways in which ideological systems manipulate our enjoyment and how we are complicit in sustaining these systems. It's important to note that Zizek's interpretation of psychoanalysis is highly theoretical and can be complex. He uses psychoanalytic concepts to analyze a wide range of subjects, from politics to popular culture, often applying them in unconventional and provocative ways. His aim is to reveal the underlying dynamics of power, desire, and ideology that shape our individual and collective lives. Slavoj Žižek's approach to Hegelian philosophy is an essential aspect of his work. He engages with Hegelian ideas to analyze various social, political, and cultural phenomena. Here are some key elements of Zizek's Hegelian approach. Dialectics. Zizek adopts Hegel's dialectical method, which involves the interplay of opposing forces and the resolution of contradictions. He sees dialectics as a tool for understanding the dynamic and contradictory nature of social, historical, and subjective processes. For Zizek, reality is marked by inherent tensions and conflicts that shape its development. Totality in system. Like Hegel, Zizek is concerned with grasping the totality of social, historical, and ideological structures. He argues that it is crucial to examine systems as interconnected wholes rather than isolating individual elements. This approach enables him to analyze the interrelations between different aspects of society and the systemic nature of ideology. Hegelian idealism. Zizek engages with Hegel's idealist philosophy, which posits that reality is shaped by the mind or spirit. However, Zizek offers a unique twist by arguing that it is not the human subject or consciousness but rather the symbolic order and its ideological structures that determine social reality. He interprets Hegel's idealism through the lens of Lacanian psychoanalysis and the primacy of language and signification. Negation and sublation. Zizek emphasizes Hegel's concept of negation and sublation, Aufhebung. Negation involves recognizing contradictions and tensions within a given system or structure, while sublation involves transcending and preserving those contradictions in a higher synthesis. Zizek explores how social and ideological phenomena are marked by these processes of negation and sublation, leading to new forms of contradiction and transformation. Universal and particular. Building on Hegel's notion of the universal and the particular, Zizek examines the tension between the universal claims of ideology and the particular experiences and demands of individuals or marginalized groups. He explores how the universal can be oppressive or exclusionary and highlights the need to reconcile universal principles with the particularities of diverse subjectivities. Historical materialism and event. While Hegel's philosophy primarily focuses on the realm of ideas and spirit, Zizek incorporates elements of Marxist historical materialism into his Hegelian framework. He explores how material conditions, class struggles, and historical events shape the development of social and ideological structures. Zizek's Hegelian approach is characterized by his emphasis on contradictions, the complex interplay of different levels of reality, and the role of ideology in shaping subjective and collective experiences. He uses Hegelian concepts to critically analyze and challenge dominant ideologies, explore historical processes, and offer alternative perspectives on social and political phenomena. Slavoj Žižek's approach to Marxism is a prominent aspect of his work. While he critically engages with Marxist theory and its historical developments, he also offers unique interpretations and expansions of Marxist ideas. Here are some key elements of Zizek's Marxist approach. Critique of capitalism. Zizek shares the Marxist critique of capitalism as a system characterized by exploitation, alienation, and social inequality. He argues that capitalism generates inherent contradictions and crises, leading to the reproduction of class divisions and systemic injustices. Hegelian Marxism. Zizek combines Marxist analysis with Hegelian philosophy, emphasizing the interplay of contradictions and the dialectical movement of historical processes. He views Hegelian dialectics as a crucial tool for understanding the dynamics of class struggle, historical change, and social transformation. Ideology and false consciousness. Following Marxist tradition, Zizek explores the role of ideology in sustaining and legitimizing capitalist systems. He argues that ideology operates on an unconscious level, shaping individuals' desires and beliefs, and obscuring the true nature of social relations. He sees ideology as a form of false consciousness that perpetuates the existing social order. Class struggle and revolution. Zizek recognizes the significance of class struggle as a driving force for social change. He explores the contradictions inherent in capitalist societies and the potential for revolutionary transformation. However, he also acknowledges the challenges and complexities of organizing effective resistance and offers critical reflections on the limitations of traditional Marxist strategies. Cultural and ideological hegemony. Zizek expands the Marxist analysis to include cultural and ideological aspects of society. He examines how dominant ideologies operate through cultural institutions, media, and popular culture to shape public opinion and maintain the status quo. Zizek explores the ways in which cultural hegemony influences subjective experiences and perpetuates capitalist relations. Universalism and particularity. Zizek examines the tension between the universalist aspirations of Marxism and the particularities of identity and difference. He seeks to bridge the gap between class struggle and struggles based on gender, race, and other social categories, advocating for a broader understanding of social justice that addresses multiple forms of oppression. Critique of liberalism. While engaging with Marxist critique, Zizek also offers a critique of liberal democratic systems. He questions the limitations of liberal democracy in addressing fundamental social and economic inequalities. Slavoj Žižek offers a critique of liberalism that challenges its fundamental assumptions and exposes what he sees as its limitations in addressing systemic inequalities and injustices. Here are some key aspects of his critique. Reinforcement of capitalism. Zizek argues that liberalism, particularly in its neoliberal form, often reinforces and perpetuates capitalist structures and inequalities. He suggests that the emphasis on individual rights and freedoms can distract from addressing larger systemic issues and serve to legitimize and maintain the existing economic order. Meritocracy and inequality. Zizek questions the notion of meritocracy promoted by liberalism, where success and rewards are often attributed to individual effort and talent. He argues that this narrative tends to mask structural inequalities and downplay the influence of social and economic factors in determining one's opportunities and outcomes. Individualism and atomization. Zizek criticizes the emphasis on individual rights and autonomy in liberalism, which he sees as fostering a sense of atomization and detachment from broader social concerns. He suggests that an excessive focus on individual liberties can undermine collective action and solidarity, hindering efforts to address systemic injustices. Humanitarian interventions. Zizek challenges liberal justifications for humanitarian interventions, such as military interventions in the name of promoting democracy and human rights. He argues that these interventions often serve geopolitical interests and can lead to unintended consequences, including exacerbating violence and destabilizing regions. Limits of political correctness. Zizek is critical of what he perceives as an excessive focus on political correctness within liberal discourse. While acknowledging the importance of social justice and inclusivity, he argues that an obsession with language and micro-level identity politics can distract from addressing deeper structural issues and hinder genuine political transformation. Technocratic expertise. Zizek critiques the reliance on technocratic expertise within liberal governance. He argues that the increasing influence of experts and professionals in policymaking can marginalize democratic decision-making and undermine the agency of ordinary people in shaping their own lives. Alternative visions. While critiquing liberalism, Zizek doesn't offer a straightforward alternative but calls for a reimagining of political and economic systems beyond the confines of liberal democracy and market capitalism. He advocates for a radical transformation of society that challenges the underlying structures of power and embraces a more egalitarian and collectively oriented vision. It's important to note that Zizek's critique of liberalism is not a rejection of all liberal values or principles, but rather an invitation to critically examine the limitations and contradictions within liberal thought and to consider broader social and economic transformations. Zizek's Marxist approach is characterized by his willingness to critically engage with Marxist theory, adapt it to contemporary contexts, and offer alternative perspectives on revolutionary change and social transformation. He draws on a wide range of philosophical and psychoanalytic concepts to provide nuanced analyses of capitalist societies and to challenge dominant ideologies. Overall, Zizek's philosophy can be seen as a provocative and multidisciplinary approach that combines elements of Marxism, psychoanalysis, Hegelian dialectics, and cultural criticism. He challenges dominant ideologies, exposes contradictions, and seeks to unveil the underlying mechanisms that shape our society and subjectivity. His work invites critical reflection, encourages questioning of established norms, and calls for radical transformation in the pursuit of a more just and equitable world.